In realms long forgotten, there are tales of the Forest Kingdom, a place of honour and chivalry, known to some as the Land of the Purple Dragon, but known to all as Cormyr.
Hi, I'm Tilda, and I'm playing Hiram, a half-orc paladin.
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm playing Katya Donahue, human bard.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Badger, a forest gnome monk.
Hi, my name is Anton, and I play Balthazar, a Warforged Cleric of Azuth.
Hi, my name is Al, and I'm playing Slate, a changeling druid.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm playing Zumbo, who is a halfling rogue/warlock.
And my name is Dan. I shall be the dungeon master on this adventure. Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hi, Dan.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it
How are
going?
you?
Yeah, good.
Good. Good.
Good.
Good.
Good life.
Yes.
Good. Right. Well,
Good.
what have we got planned for tonight? We've got lots planned for tonight, and I'm just going to answer your question before you finish asking it.
Correct.
Yes, last session, the Warhounds tried to have a little sit down and rest and didn't overly manage it at any given moment. But I suppose we'll just keep this train running, shall we? So, who's ready for episode 24?
Yeah.
Me.
Eh.
Can do.
Oh. In which case, attempted regicide, genetic experimentation, xenophobic zealots, family abductions, insurrection, coerced abdication, dragon-riding astral pirates, elemental bombs. These are all outlandish events which the Warhounds have found themselves intimately entangled with during their time together. A tale to stop a war between nations, only to fall foul of a war between neighbours. With Renner's latest vision directing the Warhounds to the expanse that is the Dragonmere Sea, the weight of the world lays heavier on our adventurous shoulders with each passing moment. The party are bound for Marsember, Cormyr's busiest port city, off the back of an accidental admission from an off-duty half-orc blue dragon called Reeve. If the Warhounds are bound for the famous Dragonmere Sea, they're going to need a famous ship. And if they need a famous ship, they're going to need a famous captain.
Where are we going to find that, Dan? Like, who are we going to go? Like, where? I don't know.
The DM
Guys-
shall provide.
I think so. This is going to have to be a case of that.
It's clearly drool.
So, we pick up with the Warhounds, having just descended from Tarkalon's tower, having just assigned a fresh new job contract from Varaxis. The Sulking Dragonborn put out a job advert for you at your behest for the grand total of 1 gold each. And the mission itself was to retrieve a sea-capable vessel from the port city of Marsember. And with the expectation that by having an official job posting, you would be able to use the World Serpent's in magical teleportation services for free.
Yeah, we're doing this pro bono.
Pro bono. As you kind of descend the towers, you can hear sobbing from the Dragonborn upstairs and the curious sounds of Tarkalon going.
Oh no!
As he pats the Dragonborn on the back.
Oh no!
But yes, as you kind of all make your preparations to go, because you know you're going to have a busy day in Cormyr's busiest port city, Badger, you hear, like, as you kind of get yourself ready and kind of start looking for one of the gnomes to take you to the exit, you hear a voice from behind you say, "Hello."
Hello?
And as you turn, you see behind you Renna.
Oh, hello, Renna.
It looks like you're going on an adventure.
That's right.
Where are you going?
We're going to the port city of Marsember. Have you ever heard of it?
Oh, I think I have, but I don't think I've ever been. What are you going to be doing in Marsember?
Well, don't tell anyone. Actually, you can tell everyone here. No one's going to care. We're stealing Zumbo's ship back.
Oh, did someone steal it off him?
Sort of, I suppose. The authorities got hold of it, and now we're going to get it back for him. Because we have business on the high seas.
Oh, what are you doing on the high seas in a stolen boat?
Well, you don't have to worry too much about that, but it is a little bit to do with some of your very helpful visions that have been steering us in the right direction for our quest.
The moon elf kind of looks down to you, and you see her sort of like she's like crossing her legs a little bit, crossing her feet, sorry, a little bit sheepishly, and sort of like stubbing the ground with her toes, and like kind of looking everywhere but at you. And then she kind of like rubbing her upper arms. She kind of Badger.
Yes?
I keep on having all these dreams and visions and things, but I've been wondering where it is exactly they come from.
Right.
And I mean, if you're going to that tower, maybe I could tag along. Perhaps there'll be things that I could learn while I'm there. Maybe I can find out what's causing this all.
I appreciate why you're asking. You've been through so much, Renna, and it might be dangerous. Are you sure?
I mean, I don't know if you know, but I'm actually a war wizard.
Of course I know that, Renna, but you're also a war wizard who's been through the mill over the last few weeks. I just want to be upfront with you that it's probably not going to be a particularly safe mission. And if you're okay with that, then of course you should come. This concerns you as much as any of us.
She nods, and you won't even know I'm there.
I'm pretty sure we'll know you're there, Renna. Why? Are you going to be hiding the whole way?
I mean, if there's anything dangerous, then maybe yes.
Okay. Well, you can always hide behind Balthazar. He's quite large.
I do like Balthazar.
Yes. Well, good to have you with us.
And the moon elf kind of looks at you, and there's this kind of nervous flicker across her face, and then she just breaks into this beaming smile at you. Thank you, she says, and she like drops to her knees and gives you a hug.
Yeah, Badger hugs her back.
And she, one moment, and she like runs off, she like, kind of scoots off to one of the stairways that kind of lead up to the second level, and she just grabs what appears to be a pre-packed backpack, and she kind of puts it on, walks back up to him. I'm ready.
She played you.
That's excellent preparation, Renna. Just the type of person that Zumbo will want on his crew.
Yeah. Do I get to be crew?
Of course. If you're on the boat, your crew, you must work for your keep.
She nods. I promise I will.
You cannot be the bosun. That's me.
I'm sure I'll find something to do. And with that, the rest of you watch as Badger approaches. Renna with a backpack is in tow. It's sort of like traveling clothes. And she looks to you and, hello. I'm part of the crew.
Isn't that great?
Well, of course you are. Welcome aboard, Renner.
She nods and I hear that someone stole your boat and we're going to steal it back. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the rough gist of it. Yeah.
Oh. She looks through the door that you're all kind of gathered in front of. There's a very thin but large-headed gnome, just kind of holding the door, looking a bit bored because he's just holding the door open with his foot because he's been waiting for Badger and Renner to come over, and he looks to you and, are you ready yet?
I believe we are.
On the other side of this door is what appears to be a broom cupboard. And Renner looks at you all shiftily and, I don't mean to state the obvious, but I don't think that's the way to Marsember.
Oh, trust us, you'll see.
And yeah, the gnome just like no taps his foot. Come on, he says, and he kind of starts to try to usher you all through this door into what appears to be a broom cupboard.
Yep,
Ben?
we go through.
Yeah.
Sure.
So as you step over the threshold, who's the first to step over the threshold? Sorry.
Badger will go through first.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So Badger, you step through and you kind of wait for that kind of schlorpy feeling that you experience every time you've done it, like the other times you've done this. And then there's like a hint of confusion as you just step into the broom cupboard. But then before you get a chance to say anything, the next person kind of walks in and pushes you a bit further in, the third person, fourth person, until eventually all 7 of you, including the dog, plus, well, all 8 of you, including Emily and Drew, just kind of walk into, there's noises from you all as you all, kind of cram into this broom cupboard, and the gnome, enjoy your trip! And he closes the door behind you. And then in the darkness, you hear, this definitely isn't the way to Marsember.
I'm beginning to think you might be right about that. Balthazar, what's happening?
What do you mean, Badger?
Balthazar, as the most magic of us, I want to know what's happening right now. I need a full brief.
The only illumination in the room is coming from Balthazar's eyes, currently.
Can we just open the door again?
I'm not quite sure. I'll cast light.
Okay. Suddenly your world is blown into... Your eyes are seared from the bright light in close proximity. And yeah, the 8 of you, you're just crammed into a broom cupboard.
Do we-
Like Balthazar's
right
taking
cupboard.
up the lion's share.
If you guys don't mind, I'm just going to, and Hiram is going to open the door and look out.
Okay. So as you open the door,
Hey.
you you open it to a corridor that was not there previously.
Oh.
Ooh.
I close the door again.
You are back in the broom cupboard. What do you do?
So definitely the right place.
Mhm.
Actually, let me double check. And Hiram is going to do the thing when he opens, closes, opens, closes like a couple of times.
Hiram, I don't mean to be rude, but it's very cramped in here.
Sorry.
And if you don't, it's okay about that. And if you don't let us out, I'm going to let Drew fart.
No.
Okay.
I don't mind.
Open door, look outside to see if there's anyone nearby, and then just step out.
Okay. So you open the door up, and yes, you find yourself on like in this corridor that is clearly not part of the World Serpent Inn. Looking, you can hear, you can see through. For a start, there are windows at the end of there's a window at the end of the corridor, which again the World Serpent Inn does not have. And through the window you can see like a misty sky and the telltale sound of as some seagulls fly overhead. And Zumbo, that noise.
Guard your chips.
Yeah, that noise is all you need to realize that you are in Marsember. So yes, stepping out on into this corridor, Zumba, you're probably the most qualified to know. But as you look around, you realize you recognize the place, but you realize you've not been on this particular part of this building very much in the past. You're on the top floor of the Drowning Flagon, a 3-story like drink hall tavern inn. It's a bit of everything. And as you lead the party to one end of the corridor and peer down, you can see the floors underneath you. There are a number of kind of patrons and drinkers and even though it's early in the morning, dancers, all just kind of being merry on the 2 floors below. What do you do?
Well, do we reckon this is a good enough? Dan, would this be a good? So I know this establishment, do I?
Yes, absolutely. So you know that the Drowning Flagon was used as a meeting place for gambling for like local organizations. It's expensive to stay in, which is why you've not been up on this 3rd floor very often. It's got enough prestige that it's actually the only kind of drinking establishment on its own on this little island that it's on, and is actually comprised of a number of buildings, for the kitchens, the stables, like a bigger kind of central dance festival hall, if you will. But yeah, this is one of your favored haunts.
Okay, so I think that this would be a good place for us to hang out and make a plan rather than moving somewhere a bit seedier and less popular, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, and so as you make your way down to the 1st floor, the ground floor, you can see that there are there's quite a myriad of patrons in this place. A lot of them wearing kind of more foreign and exotic wares, which Zumbo, your pickpocketing eye immediately tags them out as kind of merchants from faraway lands that have kind of sailed in on boats to sell their wares. You see one table as you kind of wander past it. There's a couple of there's a trio of merchants, and one of them is finely scrutinizing this kind of fine red powder that's on a small silver platter, and you take one look at it and realize that's a spice that Marsember makes its name for in terms of trading. And you watch as this merchant kind of dips his little finger in and just a small taste. Oh, it's quite bitter this year, isn't it? He says as you walk past. And as you kind of look around, there is this area is small enough that there's only the one bar. Behind it is a jovial looking old woman, who kind of leans heavily on one foot, but peers at you curiously as you emerge from the upstairs, with her one uncovered eye, the other obscured by an eye patch. And she looks at you all and, "Can I help you lot?"
Yes, we'll be looking for food, drinks, and accommodation. Thank you.
Marvelous. Pull up a seat and I have the kids start sorting you out, she says. And sure enough, you find a an old round table. The wood that the table is made of reminds you of the side of a seafaring ship. It's kind of got this sturdiness to it. And Zumbo, you can't help but kind of rub your hand across the rough wooden surface, and it just kind of it's got that feel to it.
Zumbo? Where are we?
This is the Drowning Flagon, Balthazar. Slightly, a bit of a pricey joint. Wouldn't come here on a regular occasion, but as it's a special day, and
And we're
quite a
Marsember?
landmark for us as a crew. Yeah, this is Marsember, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can tell by the mist and the smell of the sea.
Don't think I've ever been here.
As Zumbo says that, it's something that you've kind of noticed, but it's really punctuated when you see the door to the Drowning Flagon open, kind of letting in the air from outside. And when Zumbo proudly says, "Smell of the sea," for the rest of you, what you smell is rotting fish and sewage. And
Yep, smells like home.
Takes it a big huff.
I imagine coming from Sazale's poor district, it's not that an uncommon smell for Katya as well by the docks.
Oh, no, it is.
Okay.
It's worse.
Yes, this is... so for real-world analogies, this is a bit like Venice, where it looks beautiful, but it's stanky. So, sure enough, these the innkeepers' kids, like these young adults, kind of come over. They take your orders, for food and drink and whatnot, and you notice one of the girls, kind of like one of the older girls, looking at you, Zumbo, and there's a kind of like that slight twinkle of recognition in her eye. Not that you remember her though.
Just how it goes.
And and yes, before long, your food and drink arrives. Zumbo, you feel that it's kind of loud and busy enough around you that any discussions that you have around the table probably aren't going to be overheard. So you're relatively safe.
He'll lean in a bit, sort of then. All right, gang. Now that we're settled, I reckon the way I see it, there's sort of 3 stages to this plan, right? Okay. So first one, we need to find the apple, check she's okay and actually ready to set sail, because we don't want to get out into the Dragonmere and then realise there's a hole in the bottom. Stage 2, we got there's loads of blue dragon ships in this harbour, so we need to scuttle some of them so that if they try and give chase, we're not going to have a naval battle on our hands. And then stage 3 is we got to create some sort of distraction so we can actually get to the apple when it's time and we can get away without being accosted. How's that all sound to you lot?
So I have a question, maybe more questions, but we'll start with the first one. So I think the only time I've ever really been on a ship is a stationary one. How much experience will I need to be on the crew? And what actually, here's the big one. What can I do? What can my role be? I was thinking like the person at the top of there's a ship top, the top ship bit. I want to be the top ship person. How about that?
You're talking about the crow's nest, Slate? Because you could actually turn into a crow, right?
I don't want to be a crow. I mean, I can if that's what we need, but I don't... Just, the top of the ship. Not the crow's nest, the top of the ship.
I think what Zumbo's trying to say, Slate, is the top of the ship is the crow's nest?
Oh. Is that... So, is there always someone who's a crow? on a boat?
Nah, not usually, but you got a unique set of talents, really, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, never met anyone who could do that before. I mean, we don't need to worry about it too much for now. We can improvise when we get on there. You can stand wherever you like, Slate.
Okay.
But also, wouldn't it be good for Slate to be a crow? Because then they would make an excellent scout.
Well, I also read, like, you know, in some of the books I used to read, like, you could also be a parrot. Like every
and live on the shoulder of the captain. I see where you're going with that.
yeah, in the
Yeah, I've
books
got one
read,
annoying
pirates
animal
had-
on my shoulder already.
So, Zumbo, you've laid out your 3-step plan.
Foolproof.
to
3 stages,
success.
3-step plan.
So, how do you propose? So, realistically, there's give or take, there's 6 of you. So perhaps if you split up into pairs, you'll be able to accomplish each of these simultaneously. But yeah, Zumbo, who do you think would be best to check on the state of the apple, the bobbing apple, and how do you propose they go about doing it? How do you / they propose you go around doing it?
Well, I reckon it's got to be me, really, who's checking on her, making sure she's okay.
Okay.
But who would I take along?
Just out of character, Balthazar have got a few spells that are quite nifty. He's got walk on water, and he does have control water as well.
Nice.
Also, does not need to breathe, so potentially can actually just walk on the bottom of the
That would be amazing.
of the sea, and I don't know, just
Or with a big
scuttle-
drill.
with a big drill. And go, "Whoop."
Yeah, actually, Balthazar, that's pretty handy because you need to scuttle them below the waterline so people don't notice.
Sure,
So
I mean,
you'd be
I can
perfect
do
for that job.
Ooh, amazing.
Just oil me up, make sure I don't get rusty.
Yeah, and maybe Katya can go with you because she's got those alchemist fire. So you know, if the whole drilling into the thing don't work, you can just.
May I suggest we don't send a person with the alchemy fire to a shipyard with lots of wood?
I think that was the idea here. We send the person with alchemist fire to the shipyard, and we leave the shipyard ablaze if we need to.
Okay, I also want to point out, if you burn everything down, we don't have a ship.
Well, no, I think what you're saying is just
And we go to jail.
only if they catch us.
We
Yeah.
need to stop the other ships, the purple dragon ships as well. So we are committing sabotage.
Maybe the alchemist fire is better for a distraction elsewhere in the city then,
Possibly.
unless you want to save it for Ursula's taverns.
I
That's
am
fine.
not sure how I feel about our plan B is arson.
Oh no, that's plan A, Hiram.
That's not
You want a plan B? You got to come up with one.
one.
I was
Okay.
going
Okay.
to maybe suggest Zumbo to find the apple. Maybe me and Badger could go out. Like, Badger's very keen of sense, and you know, I've obviously been experimenting with reading thoughts. You know, maybe we can, you know, either Badger can spot it, or we can sort of maybe peer into the minds of a few blue dragons.
Yeah, I guess I could describe what it looks like, right?
Yes.
Okay.
If you're okay with that, Badger, I didn't want to sort of.
Oh,
nominate you
no.
for something.
That sounds like a great idea.
Okay, so Katya and Badger are going to find the bobbing apple. Find out about the bobbing apple, I should say. So currently Balthazar is scuttling the blue dragon ships by drilling a hole in them. Who is accompanying Balthazar, if nothing else, to help him out of the sea.
Are you being sort of a slightly sort of hinting there, Anton / Balthazar?
No, I'm just putting them there so I can read them first of all, but also
Okay.
just share them. What I can do is I've also got Arcane Eye.
So,
I love how clairvoyance basically turns you into a submarine.
I think I pretty much am going to be a submarine with like an Arcane Eye at the top going. Doot, doot,
That's
doot.
beautiful.
So,
So, Hiram, which criminal activity do you feel most comfortable with?
Do we need any kind of distraction?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking if Slate can turn into someone of a noble heritage, we can pretend that we are trying to buy a ship.
Is this
What-
possible?
Or not, maybe not buy a ship, but something a bit more military.
I
We
mean,
can
buying
pretend
a
that the
ship-
Warhounds are teaming up, or the Silver Swords are teaming up with the. I don't know if it's someone, and we are here to survey some of the ships.
While
I
Balthazar
think so.
scuttles them.
You'll all be very pleased with me, gang. Last night I spent a lot of time preparing, and today I will be able to control winds.
Ooh,
Okay.
very good.
That could speed us right out of the port. Vroom! That's
Okay.
what
Oh, in that case, I'm not sure.
ships make, right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
So arguably, so we've got Katya and Badger finding the bobbing apple, Balthazar and Zumbo scuttling the enemy ships,
Sure.
and
Yes. love
Slate
it.
and Hiram causing a distraction.
Yes.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm very, very aware when I say Hiram and Slate. Slate is going to cause a distraction. I'm just there for damage control.
Right. Okay.
Like it.
I mean, you've also got Emily. She's causing a
Oh
distraction.
my god, I will. Don't.
Maybe
Oh,
we should
yes.
strap the
Yeah.
Alchemist Fire to the end of one of her arrows and she could fire it at the fleet.
Okay, so with those plans in mind, Zumbo, for those three pairings, where would you suggest each of those three pairs go to accomplish their task? As you have this intimate knowledge of Marsember.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'd have a sense of where the most of the Blue Dragon vessels will be, or the heaviest, or maybe the closest docks to where we'd be escaping, if that makes sense. So the ones most likely to catch us if we make a run for it.
So and if I transition us to this map, there we go. So from where you are in the Drowning Flagon, all of there aren't that many Blue Dragon ships in Marsember. A lot of the navy is stationed in Suzail, but the naval dry dock, which is just to the north of you, is where like Blue Dragons are trained, and where any Blue Dragon stuff is kept where it is. The one problem with the naval dry dock is it is right next door to Starwater Keep, which is the Purple Dragon garrison for the 6th Regiment. Oversword True Silver is the Oversword of the 6th Regiment. So whilst the Purple Dragons will usually kind of keep themselves to themselves, same as like the Army and the Navy don't tend to get involved with one another all that much. The dry dock is where the ships will be in general. That said, that any Blue Dragons that are lurking about will probably be in various taverns, kind of drinking if you were trying to kind of get information about the bobbing apple through discussion rather than say perception. The Drowned Sailors Club is a particularly rowdy haunt for Blue Dragons that you've visited in your day. In terms of distraction, I mean, you can pretty much do that anywhere. Potentially, maybe not too close to Star Wars.
Yeah, I was thinking as far away as possible, really, isn't it? So that they have to go a long way away from where we'd be escaping from.
Yeah. It's also the idea that you'll be prepping yourself during the day and then presumably running the actual heist in the evening or at night time.
Yeah. So does it make sense for Badger and Katya to go to the Drowned Sailors Club then to try and find out where the apple might be? And then the scuttling team to head to the dry dock, and the distraction folks to set up maybe a couple of things that could go off?
Maybe we should go and ask around if there's anything going on in the evening. Because maybe we can do like a punch up somewhere, get some attention like near the masked merfolk.
Also, just as a who's on the scuttling team again? Apart from Balthazar, obviously he can do that without any breathing.
Balthazar and Zumbo currently.
Zumbo's not going to go in the water, is he?
And Betty.
And Betsy.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah,
we've
can
got
always
that
just chuck
cloak-
Betty in.
We've got that cloak of the manta ray. I don't know if that's still like. We didn't ever get rid of that, did we?
What does that do?
We do have that, yes.
Kind of a handy thing to have around.
Mm-hmm.
But I
What is-
doubt that.
It gives you water breathing.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Who has that item?
No,
Uh,
it's
it-
in our.
No
We'll
one has
never
currently.
chose it because everyone was like, "We're never gonna need this,"
Ah.
but we kept it.
Yeah, give it to Zumbo. 100%.
Yeah.
Well,
Sounds like
if some
three-
Zumbo won't go in the water, it's useless to
No,
him.
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Here you go, Captain Zumbo. Here's a cloak that lets you swim underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You get
I think-
fantastic.
a lot of use
I
out
think
of it.
Slate would be like run and go, "Oh, I got the best idea here." I've kept this because I like the way it looked for a while, and I haven't really used it because, well, it just wasn't fitting with the color and everything. Because obviously Ameline's like a big fan of red, and this is more kind of a bluey gray, just not really, Slate colors. But got this. You're gonna love it, Zumbo. This is gonna change your life. And then pulls out the cloak of the manta ray.
Is it just like massively too long?
Massively too
For a
long.
3 foot tall person.
It's surprisingly wide, actually, for a 3 foot.
And
Okay, so
then they'll go-
as Zumbo is forcefully equipped with a cloak of the manta ray, are we happy to send Katya and Badger off to the Drowned Sailors Club?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then,
Okay.
just as a precision, we are not using D&D rules for this episode.
We are not. No, we'll come to that. Katya and Badger make their way to the Drowned Sailors Club in the hopes that they can learn some stuff. Meanwhile, Balthazar and Zumbo, are you presumably you're gonna just kind of make your way to the dry dock relatively quickly, and then
Would there be time for me to grab Hiram quickly?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
Uh,
as we
Well,
so
just before
go
you do that, so hang on. Where Slate and Hiram, where are you making your distractions?
I don't think we would know at this point. We want to have the feel of the city
Sure.
to see where we can actually do some distraction.
Okay, so
I'll probably go from here all the way to the Marsember, see what's going on.
okay.
Can,
Well-
can I check? I would hazard. There must be some sort of like balustrades things, whatever they're called. Not balustrade. What is it? Like the buttes or whatever, where people can, warn people that things are coming, that bad things are going. Basically, it's coastal, isn't it? So
Yeah. Yes, there are.
I think Slate would be looking out for those sort of places, and probably pointing them out to Emily. I was like, "Oh, there's someone up there. There's someone up there."
As before everyone leaves, as a ritual, Katya
Very
binds us
cool.
all with a telepathic bond.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes.
Hey!
So,
Chat.
but yeah, Katya, you cast that. Before Katya, before you cast that, with the rough plan kind of in place, and we all appreciate there's going to be a lot of improv. Zumbo, you managed to catch Hiram and take him aside.
Yeah, I think as we were coming down the stairs and greeted by that one-eyed woman, Zumbo would have had a quick word with her, and he's gonna say to Hiram, Hiram, do you mind if I just borrow you briefly before we all set off?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, good. Cheers. Follow me if you don't mind. And he's gonna lead
Right.
Hiram upstairs, to one of the rooms that we've presumably booked out.
Okay.
Or that I'd arranged to have from this woman.
Yeah.
He's going to open the door, and there's going to be in the centre of this room is a big cast iron bathtub full of water. And he's going to close the door behind Hiram,
Okay.
and without kind of any explanation, he's just going to like start taking off his jacket and like taking off his braces and unbuttoning his shirt.
Hiram is just standing there, frozen and blushing like no tomorrow. Like, Zumbo?
Yeah, sorry, probably
What's going
should explain. Right, yeah, well, we're at the sea now. We're getting the ship back, hopefully, and well, you know what my situation is. I can't be freezing when I step out onto the boat, onto the water. So
Right.
I need your help
okay.
to get over this nonsense, Hiram. You're the only one I trust to do it. So, I mean, it's hard for me to ask this. I'm going to need you to dunk me.
Brilliant.
Are you sure this is the best approach? I mean, we can talk about it a bit before anything that drastic.
No talking. I need
No.
you to hold me under. I'm going to scream. There's going to be lots of bubbles.
No.
Don't let me up until I stop screaming.
Okay. I am going to put it out there. I am not comfortable with the screaming part. I mean, a safe gesture, something safe
Well,
that I actually know that you want to come up. Okay.
Ideally, if you could pull me up, between the screaming stopping and the bubble stopping, that would be ideal.
Amazing.
I am going to say, if you genuinely feel like you're about to die, can you pinch me?
Oh yeah, I reckon I can do that. Here I am. Yeah.
Okay, that makes it feel somewhat better.
You might want to take your fancy armor off, just you don't want to get it all splashed and rusted.
No, that's fine. I do that, and I also gotta go through my my bag quickly to see if I have a diamond on me, just in case I need to cast a Vivify, which I have prepared.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. And he's just going to go outside and put the "Do Not Disturb" sign on the door.
What are they doing up there?
I have no idea. Like, he seemed really serious, so maybe he's just, asking him some advice for something.
Are you wearing the manta ray cloak for the dunk?
No, he's probably not thought to put it on yet.
You're going raw. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so how do you just gently get into this bathtub and sit cross-legged? Sort of
No, Hiram's you're gonna have to put me in it.
Yeah. Also, what's going to happen is Hiram's going to look you in there and say, "Okay, so just want you to, just so you know what's going to happen, I'm going to pick you up and just push you under the water on the count of 3. Okay?
All right.
Okay. 1, and then I dunk him.
Nice.
Okay, so Zumbo, as you the sound, you hear the sound of water rushing past and through your ears, and then the world just kind of goes quiet, apart from your and Hiram's face is horribly distorted by all the bubbles escaping your mouth and nostrils. So as you
I am not going to lie. I think the first try, Hiram is going to chicken out. It's like, no, I can't. I'm sorry.
No.
Zumbo, you emerge from the water, spluttering.
Yeah, dunk me again. It didn't do it.
Okay, before I do, can I just take your promise that after this, you and we are going to have a conversation about this, okay? There is something here that we probably should address, right?
Yeah, all right, here I am.
So,
okay, I'll hold you to that.
As you dunk Zumbo again, Zumbo, I need a Constitution ability check, please.
You get some bonuses because of Hiram.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. +3, I think.
Okay.
Is that just saving throws or?
Saving throw.
Yeah, it's just straight click.
Actually.
So
Actually, isn't our proficiency 4 now? So isn't it?
No, not yet.
No, not yet.
Oh, it is, but yeah. So that's a 20 with Hiram's help.
Nice.
Hiram's divine aura. So you manage to you stay under the water for quite some time, and after the panic begins to ebb and fade, Zumbo, you feel like a sense of calm begin to wash over you. And the waters separating you and Hiram just kind of start to calm down a bit, and you can kind of see his face, just kind of the moving face in the ripples, just kind of getting more and more kind of stable. And then you watch as an orange tentacle slips over the side of the tub, and Betty pulls herself up to look at you in the tub. And then you watch as Betty, one of Betty's eyes turns to look at Hiram, and then 2 tentacles wrap round Hiram's arm, and Hiram, you feel your arm go stiff and paralyze.
Forgot about Betty, didn't we?
This keeps happening to Hiram with like Slate.
Can I?
Hiram,
Can I talk to Betty while this is happening?
This so this octopus is just looking at you, her eyes bulging, and there's almost this look of glee in her face, in her little octopusy face. As you go to, you feel Zumbo start to like pinch you, but your arm refuses to move. And you realise that Betty has paralysed your arm from the shoulder down.
Zumbo just be kind of starting to just slap.
I can't actually hold him down anymore. Can I?
I think it's locked your arm.
Your hand's locked in place. Just
both of them?
No, just the one. But you.
Not a problem. I just use my other hand to move my arm.
Okay, cool.
It's fine.
And Zumbo, you watch. You are wrenched from the bathtub. You see Betty kind of swinging off Hiram's arm, and as you come back up, there's that kind of moment as the water's dribbling down your face from your hair and kind of going into your eyes and up your, like the bath bubbles are going up your nose.
Okay, I think that'll do it. Should we go rejoin the others?
Maybe take a minute. Just sit for a second.
Yeah, we should
also,
taken my boots off before I did that.
Yeah, also I need feeling in my arm to come back.
Betty,
sorry about it.
Betty seemingly kind of sadly lets go of your arm, and you feel the sensation start to creep back from your shoulder down. And as you stand there with a dripping wet Zumbo, you watch as there's a sploop, and as you look, Betty's just fallen into the bathtub and it's just octopusing around.
Right, that's very cute. I am gonna have a drink.
Okay.
You do you.
So with that out of the way, as
it's gonna get to the point that if anyone asks here for help again, he's gonna go no.
So whilst this is all happening, we pick up with Katya and Badger. So as you emerge from the Drowning Flagon, you find yourself on what appears to be a sand island. With a bridge. There's a bridge, like as you exit the Drowning Flagon, there's a bridge that extends to another island. And Badger and Katya, as you look out, it dawns on you that Marsember is, for all intents and purposes, this kind of this archipelago network of tiny islands that just kind of bridged onto what appears to be the mainland off in the distance. It's hard to make out because of the fog, and also your eyes are watering slightly from the stench. As you kind of like following the direction you've gotten from Zumbo, you kind of make your way north, and then over a bridge, and then south, back over another bridge, to another island. You find an establishment called the Drowned Sailors Club, and where is it? So, and as you stand looking at it, it dawns on you that unlike the other buildings in Marsember that you've passed, like all the buildings are made of the same kind of material. The walls are stucco, the roofs are slate or heavy wood. They all look quite sturdy. Whilst the Drowned Sailors Club is made of the same materials, it looks significantly run down, and kind of tattered. As you push you stand in front of the door, you can see that the sign hangs from one of the ropes that hold the signs up is broken.
How do you want to do this, Badger?
What? If you can read minds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I go around just sort of talking to people about interesting ships and things, I'll be a ship enthusiast. And then you just sort of tune in and see what people are thinking. And I'll try and maybe if I'm already talking to them about what ships have come in and what exciting acquisitions the authorities have made, then maybe people will think about where the bobbing apple is.
maybe we might need to be a bit more direct with our because without having to push too deeply, I can only pick up sort of surface level. So
okay.
Maybe try to sort of I mean, maybe this might be dangerous. Maybe say you're a member of Zumbo's crew trying to find him.
No. Do I look like a halfling? Could I pass myself off as a halfling? Do you
Not
think?
as a halfling. I mean, you are very gnomish, but you might be able to. I mean, I'll be honest. If these people are drunk enough, they're probably not going to know their halflings from their gnomes to their kobolds.
True. Okay. Kobolds? Really?
Puff your cheeks out. That's what you got.
Yeah. I mean, and then I do have a secondary plan, which may be slightly more risky. I've been working on a song for Zumbo about the bobbing apple, so if we can't get anything from reading minds, maybe I'll just go upstage and sing it, and I might need you to play the protection if it all goes wrong.
I prefer this plan. Let's just do this one.
Are you sure? Okay.
Go on.
Okie dokie. And Katya at that point pushes the doors open. Imagine one of them falls off. She does.
Well, you push the door as you go to kind of push the doors open. One of them catches on a floor tile, about halfway, and it's a bit jarring. You kind of have to really kind of heft it, and there's as the wooden door scrapes across the floor, and what you find in front of you is the most miserable looking, smoke stained drinking hole you've there were some grimy places in Suzale. They have nothing on this place. It's morning. It is relatively early morning, but the vast majority of the patrons in here are just kind of, you see their shoulders are hunched, their heads are hovering ever so slightly above the bar, like as they hold a drink. This is like premium 9 a.m. Weatherspoons. And
I think what Katya will do then is immediately jump on a chair, jump on a table, kicking everything off the table and strumming a note as loud as she can.
Badger's gonna go, amazing! A real bard is here to play us a real song!
Okay, so the people in the room turn and kind of look up at you. A lot of them are like, if I were to say they look like sailors in the D&D world, that's what the vast majority of the people that turn to look at you are. And they kind of peer at you, and a lot of them just kind of look back disinterested. You notice there is one individual that kind of keeps his eye on you, and you hear him shout out. It appears to be a halfling sat at the far end in what seems to be almost like a reserve area. There's a beautiful bushy kind of handlebar kind of moustache type facial arrangement going on, thick bushy eyebrows. There's what appears to be a pork pie hat propped up on something on the table, and you hear this individual shout, "Well, play us a song, little lady."
I will play you the greatest song of all, gentlemen, about the greatest sailor on the sea. Far greater than all of you, I can wager.
The halfling lifts a finger up and a drink for the two ladies, and why don't you just perform it to me directly? Think of it as a private serenade.
Oh, wow.
These louts wouldn't know a good song if it came up and fucked him in the arse.
Boy.
I would much rather play with an audience. I do not do private sessions, good sir.
You hear a hiccup and a crash as one of the patrons slips from his bar stool and collapses to the floor.
I think if you just play it, it'll be like it's a private session.
Exactly. Or it will wake them up for another round, one imagines. music as a way of making people want to drink a little bit more. It does, especially if its song is good. Riles them up somewhat, or maybe to grab something to throw.
But the halfling shrugs and kind of leans back in his seat, puts his dirty boots up on his table, and gestures to you.
Well, it's time to piss off some people. And she starts playing the song she's been writing for Zumbo about the bobbing apple, which I called...
What is the title?
There it is, logs. Song list. I called it An Apple Bobbing in the Sea.
Yes, very good.
It's a song dedicated to the Red Pirate Zumbo Marafat and his triumph over a kraken.
Okay. So, you start playing this song, and there's halfling at the far end of the bar who's just kind of sitting there watching you, like he's sort of nodding along. Badger, you notice as Katya plays and she starts moving through the various stanzas, this halfling starts to look a bit confused. Like there's a frown that crosses his brow, and then he slowly takes his feet off his table, and he stands up, and he doesn't really gain that much height because he's a halfling. But what was the name of this cabin again?
Katya, while still playing, she's singing it as well. Question should be saved to the end.
And then the halfling rolls his eyes and then looks at you, Badger. What's the name of this cabin?
No, this is the best bit. You've got to listen to this bit.
I imagine Katya do that thing, but now she's got she's hopping on one leg forward, crouched, and then ding, ding, ding.
The halfling approaches you and sort of has now left his booth and has walked up to the table that you're dancing on, Katya, and he looks to you. And then during the chorus, does it have the name like Marofat? Or
I imagine, yes. So the song's about the dread pirate Zumbo Marofat. It's gonna mention Marofat.
Zumbo Marofat.
Okay, so as you say,
why do they pick a bar to play a character when I can't sing in real life? Why do they do this to myself?
So as you say the name Captain Marofat, the halfling in front of you, who's now approached you, finishes off his drink, slams it on the table in front of you.
Oh, sir, does my song offend?
And the halfling in front of you, how do you know of Marofat?
Why, he's a talk in all the taverns around Sazale.
Is he now?
Is indeed. Said to be the greatest pirate that ever sailed the seas.
Well,
of Cormyr.
Well, in that case, given that it sounds like you find yourself in sometimes agreeable company, perhaps you and I can have a talk. Piepincher's the name, he says, and this halfling bows and takes his pork pie hat off and kind of gives you a big fancy bow. Edward Piepincher.
Is that pipe incher or pie pincher?
He looks you up and down. You see his thick eyebrows wiggle slightly, and it can be either for you, my dear.
Well, my name is Abigail, and this is my good friend Bodger.
That's me.
Hello, Abigail and Bodger. Now, I have a fine ear for things like this, and it would seem to me that you know more about this Captain Marofat than you're letting on. There's a certain intimacy that your words seem to carry. So, how about we cut the pretense? Because it sounds like you're up to something.
Katya, at this point, jumps down, sits on the table, and he says we're up to something, Bodger.
That's quite rude of him, isn't it?
That's very
Abigail.
rude of him. Sorry, we should have worked this out beforehand, she says through
okay.
the psychic chat.
It's okay.
I assume the salty old dog's back in town, isn't he?
Katya sort of reaches into a bag. Is like, well, I bought this book, and she sort of like shows off Zumbo's diary. It's like, I bought this book from a traveling merchant, and it's where suddenly when I started hearing the name Zumbo Marifat mentioned all around Sazale, I started realizing it was part of the book I purchased because I like to buy diaries because they're good for songs. So I just sort of like wrote the songs I'm seeing in the book.
He's written a diary, has he?
He did, as far as I could tell. At least I think it's a Zumbo original.
To be honest, I didn't think that the old trout knew how to write, but
as I've been reading the diary under Zumbo's request, has the name Pie Pincher come up in it?
Yeah, I think it probably. Well, no.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So Eduard gestures for some drinks to be brought to your table, and well, if you've got nothing to do with Mr. Marifat, what are two lovely ladies like you doing in a fine establishment like this?
Well, you see, I've got a bit of a gap in my song, as you could probably tell, and that was how to describe the bobbing apple. Now, I heard from a little birdie somewhere that the ship may be around here, and you see, I really want to lay my own eyes on it, because nothing better at writing a story than being able to see something. Ain't that right, Bodger?
That's right. We want to see the boat.
I'd love to see the boat.
Pie Pincher nods and kind of looks over his shoulder and, hear that, boys? I want to see the boat. And you notice that from around the drunken, sleeping patrons, a number of halflings start emerging. And I can only describe it as like a 3.5 foot tall version of Peaky Blinders. As what look like, organised crime halflings just kind of emerge from various shadows and begin to loiter around.
How many?
There's about 8 of them.
Ooh, we can take them. It's okay.
And he looks to you and she was a fine vessel. The bobbing apple, he did a bang up job targeting that one to our Finch. I'll have you know, but yes, perhaps it is possible to see the the apple, but maybe I do know who it is. Maybe I don't. It's all at this time of the morning. Everything can be a bit hazy, can't it? But you two seem to be like well-connected individuals, so why don't we come to some sort of negotiation?
Why don't you start negotiating with your fine colleagues around? Okay.
So, Badger and Katya, Pie Pincher seems to want to negotiate with you. Between the two of you, tell me how you, what skill you would like to use to negotiate. So, off the back of this is the trial system that we're using today. Whatever skill you use can lead to a success if you beat the DC as normal. If you get roll 10 or more on your check, you pass. And some things may go a bit awry. If you roll less than 10, then something goes wrong. So, what are you bringing to the table?
I was gonna suggest that Katya actually start reading his thoughts while we're doing this negotiation to give us an edge, because he'll probably start thinking about where the bobbing apple is, given this is what we're negotiating.
I imagine as soon as the negotiation started, that was going to be my plan as well to trigger.
Psionically cast it so it's subtle and he doesn't notice.
Yeah, just at surface level skim.
Yes, which, I mean, we could argue that gives advantage to the check, maybe, or
possibly,
or whatever you think.
Well, if Katya's doing that, Badger, you.
I'm just going to be talking at him. I'm going to be negotiating and talking at him to kind of make him imagine where the ship is. Basically,
so you're talking, are you?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I'm not going to be dancing at him or flipping at him, am I?
Okay.
Well,
That's what I'm very good at. But
if I can strengthen you with a bardic inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
That will start things off on the right foot.
Okay, so Badger, are you going to be truthful in your short talks with him, or are you going to attempt?
It makes not a hair of difference. They are both +0.
Okie dokie.
So just
Badger,
a normal roll.
Roll me a persuasion check.
A regular persuasion check. It's a 16.
Okay.
+3.
And then with +3, so 19.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so as you talk to Piepincher, he seems to be almost kind of like leading. He's kind of talking to you. He's agreeing with you. He appears to be leading on the conversation to the point where it's clear he's trying to find out where Zumbo is. But as you kind of subtly navigate through that little minefield and kind of keep on bringing up the bobbing apple, Katya, you get these kind of the feelings that you get from him are that it's almost like the mental equivalent of a smirk, like oh, he's not gonna like this kind of thing. And that's all you can get from a surface level. You do also know, he pictures for a second this ship that, from what you gather, would probably be in a dry dock. It appears to be out of the water, propped up, like on a stand, in effect, on dry land.
Oh no.
Okay.
But yeah, there's this kind of overbearing, like, oh, I know something you don't, in his mind, as he's just kind of, oh yeah, as Badger keeps him talking.
Okay. And Katya at this point in the chat room is like, I've seen something. I think I might have something. He thought of a ship on stilts in the dry dock.
Yeah.
Who's he, Katya?
Someone called Piepincher? Oh, what was the first name again? Sorry, it was
Edward.
Edward Piepincher.
I presume I'm pronouncing that right, Matt?
Yeah, that's right.
Edward
Piepincher. He seems to be really interested in you.
Oh, yeah, Fat Ted. Yeah, he would be. Don't hang around longer than you need to. Saw him kill a man with a turkey leg once.
Would you like me to make his life difficult?
As long as you don't let him know where I am, that'd be much appreciated.
I can do just that, and I could leave him with more trouble on his plate than he knows what to do with.
Well, yeah, just don't mess with him, Katya. He's a scary dude.
Oh, don't worry. I won't mess with him. I'll make sure that everyone else messes with him.
Actually, sorry, beg my pardon. So, off the back of a success, Edward does what you ask if you first promise what they ask of you. So he's asked you, Badger, like, it feels like he will outright tell you what he's sniggering at in exchange for finding out where Zumbo is. So you can decide to pull your foot off the gas and leave with what you know, or you can seal the deal, but you'll also give up Zumbo.
I think I'm not giving up Zumbo, especially if Katya, especially if I've heard what's going on in the group chat. I'm gonna be a bit like, fair enough, but nice to do business with you, but not today, thank you.
Okay, cool. In which case, yeah, Katya, are you doing anything to Mr. Piepincher? Or Fat Ted, as Zumbo's just referred to him as?
I'm just quickly checking what I can do with this, but I imagine at this point, as she sees what she needs, she stands up, looks at the other halflings, and I think I might cast Charm Person at 5th level.
Ooh.
Upon the other halflings that are in the room. It's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Piepincher, what did you say? We're ladies after all. That is no way to speak to a lady. Gentlemen, don't you agree?
God.
Uh-oh.
And it gets me cast up to 5 people?
Oh my gosh.
Right, okay. So if you're doing that, then... And what is it? What is your intention?
She's basically going to get the rest of the crew to basically just cause some trouble for Mr. Piepinch and maybe start a brawl with him. Like, he can have 5 of his own people decking him. Just enough time for us to escape, because I know each time they get hurt, they get to redo the check. So basically just starting a bar fight for us to slip out and disappear.
Okay. So as you're just kind of using it as an opportunity to escape, I won't ask you to choose violence. So instead, as you cast it, 5 of the 8 halflings all just kind of look to each other and, to be honest, boss, that was a bit off, they say. And Piepincher looks up and, what the pissing hell are you talking about? He says. And as the two of you kind of slip out, you hear the sounds of, get him! Get off! Ah!
Time to go, Badger! Time to go!
Off we go.
The halflings descend into a punch-up.
The Drowning Sailors Club, you have been fantastic! My name is Abigail! Fuck you!
And as you close, as people walk past the door, which doesn't quite close because it gets stuck on that floor on the way out, the sounds of fighting echo out through Marsember, and no one pays a blind bit of difference because it's the Drowned Sailors Club. For them, this is just Tuesday.
Yeah.
So,
Great.
you two have discovered this. Next up, let's go to Zumbo and Balthazar.
Right. So we are
yes
running a submarine operation.
Okay.
Let's be real.
So just for reference, as you two kind of cross over the bridges onto what is effectively the mainland, like hard land, because the islands are just kind of sand and quarry rock just dumped in the sea. You notice that the buildings in this area are significantly more upmarket. You see a lot more kind of noble attire, and it appears to be that the rich people live on land and the poor people live in the waters. As you go more, like as you get closer to mainland, the stench from the canals gets stronger and stronger, as you realize that the waters are just outright used as their open sewage system. But you also see a number of skiffs and gondolas kind of sailing around, a bit like, say, Venice. In front of you, as you cross over past the Old Ore Inn, you see a large wall and gate that separates you from the dry dock and Starwater Keep. And Hiram and Slate carry on further north.
Okay.
Well, Balthazar, you ready for this?
Yeah, sure. So, do you know which ships we need to target?
Well, not offhand, but hopefully it'll be fairly obvious which ones are flying military colours. Be able to pick out the fastest ones and
we need to scuttle them.
So,
yeah.
As an aside, all of the ships on the other side of this wall will be naval, will be military. There have been a number of other ships that you've seen kind of dotted around. Zumbo, you know that along the southernmost islands, there are a number of kind of mercantile docks, which the merchants will dock at. You also know that in the middle of the city is Morning Mist Hall, which is a temple to Lathander. They have weirdly a flotilla of ships that they actively hunt pirates with. Then all the proceeds they loot from the pirates goes into the donation coffer. Which you thought was ironic for holy priests.
Yeah.
Yes, all the ships on the other side of this wall, and there's about 12 naval ships in total docked at Marsember at any time, not including like the patrol boats that sail around for scouting for pirates in this area.
Is this going to be like the 5-star like helicopters, tanks? Everyone's going to be coming after you.
Quite possibly, yes.
Zumbo?
Yeah?
What's the best way of scuttling a ship?
Well, you don't want to do too much damage, right? Because you don't want to make it obvious. and you don't want the thing to sink now. We want it to sink later. Because if we make a mess now, they'll just fix it, or they'll catch us, and they'll vamp up security. So we want to do just enough damage that when they try and chase us, they won't be able to. But no one will notice until then, right?
What about that part at the bottom of the ship? The thing that steers? The rudder?
The rudder, yeah.
Can we lock those?
Yeah, or I don't know, how strong are you? Could you just pull it off?
Maybe, but maybe if we use like some ropes or some netting, we could just prevent him from steering, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I was just thinking, I liked your plan about just drilling a few holes beneath the waterline, but yeah, rudder's good too, yeah.
What is the rudder made of? Metal?
Wood, usually.
Guessing it's wood, isn't it? Yeah.
Treated wood.
Well, let's get some netting, ropes, and saws, and then we can see what works.
So, how are you proposing to get into the dry dock without being seen?
What's security like on the gate?
So, Zumbo, that's a good point. As you wander around, you know that there are three types of guards to worry about in this place, to varying degrees. So there are, as always, the purple dragons. The purple dragons, exactly as you would expect them to. The purple dragons of the 6th Regiment, specifically stationed in Marsember, tend to wear lighter armor, like they're just a breastplate and leathers, and are an easily removable metal helmet, just in case they go through a quick dip. And it's just awkward having to clean up accidental drownings whilst on the job. They're also usually armed with what are called boat hooks, to literally, because they patrol on their skiffs a lot of the time, to literally kind of latch onto boats and pull them in. The ones that you don't have to worry about as much, however, are the Marsember Watch. So they are the town guard of Marsember, and they are usually just kind of recruited from the citizenry. Whereas the purple dragons are regularly rotated out to prevent corruption, the Marsember Guard are not, and they are just as bent, if not more so, than you and your pirate buddies, and usually can be very easily oiled to look the other way. Last but not least, the most up their own arses are the blue dragons. And they tend to stick to their ships or sort of like in amongst one another's company. Them and the purple dragons are a bit oil and water.
Cool.
But yeah, sorry, you notice that actually, as you're going around, there aren't anywhere near as many purple dragons here as you were expecting. But then you realise that kind of probably makes sense, right? They're all off dying for Ezred or Raedra. What you do see in their place seems to be more Marsember Watch, and you haven't seen any purple dragons. But again, this side of the wall, you're not really expecting to.
Zumbo, I think what we should do is try and get in the water, and then we can just stay at the bottom and find the ship, tie the rudder or destroy it, and then move on to the next one and just do it all on the water. But we need to get in the water first.
Yeah, well, we got to get through this gate first. And what I was thinking about, sorry, is I'm pretty much dressed like a blue dragon, so I can probably stay on land without, attracting too much attention. I can always just be looking like I'm inspecting whatever ship you're sabotaging. If anyone comes along, I can keep them distracted while you do what you're doing, and then we just move on to the next one.
No, you need to be in the water with me.
Do I need to?
Yeah.
I feel like I need to, Balthazar, really.
Well, you need to show me how to block the steering and which part to cut and all that. So, yeah, we both need to be in the water.
Well, let's get through this gate first and see what the situation is.
Yeah, try and get it through.
Okay, so as you you approach the gates and you see a couple of purple dragons, just kind of standing guard. They're looking somewhat alert because it's quite early in the morning. Are you approaching openly or discreetly or what?
I think openly.
They're purple dragons, are they? And there's two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think try and go through on pure confidence and the fact that I'm wearing a blue coat and hat.
Okay. In which case, as you go to walk past, they stop you and sorry, have you got your papers?
Oh, yeah, I got me here somewhere, yeah. Balthazar, did you leave him in my other coat?
I'll just nod.
I'll just roll my eyes at the purple dragons and go, you can't get help these days, can you? I'm sorry about that, boys.
The purple dragons looked at one another and I'm really sorry, but on the Oversword's orders, we can't really let you through without the papers.
Look, I understand you got a job to do, and I don't want to cause you any trouble, but you know, I got some time-sensitive inspections to get on with here, and you know, come on, we're on the same page here, aren't we? I ain't one of those bent Marsember watch fools.
I'll just hand some money over, like my coin purse, to Zumbo automatically, like as one movement.
The purple dragons watch you as you do this.
I plonk it into Zumbo's hands.
Zumbo, as you panic, because the purple dragons are not usually the bribable ones.
Oh, okay.
Can I have a deception check, please?
Yeah, okay.
Woo!
Fine. Who needs this move system? Okay, so they kind of look to you and they look at the gold in your hands and they look at one another and and one of them steps forward and kind of turns sideways, just kind of opens his jacket out, revealing like an inside pocket. I suppose mistakes can always happen, right?
Oh, would you I'll look at Balthazar and, well, would you look at that? Seems I've found my papers after all. And just put the gold in his pocket.
Cool. Balthazar, because you said you just pulled a bag of gold out, we're gonna say that one had is it cruel to say 300 gold?
Yes. I'm thinking like 10 gold max. Basically giving them
10 gold?
That's still a pretty big bribe, isn't it?
Yeah, beer money.
100 gold, and they'll let you through.
All right, sure.
I'll pay you back, Balthazar, don't worry.
Okay, 100 gold. And the
loyalty does have its price.
The purple dragons just kind of and then turn to look in opposite directions, allowing the two of you to kind of scurry on through.
Yeah, always a pleasure to meet Marsember's finest. Have a good day, gents. And just thoughts on through.
Okay. As you enter into the dry dock, you see that it's relatively kind of quiet because it's early morning. Primarily, it's dock hands loading and unloading various, resupplying the ships and fixing any kind of broken masts, like sails and so on and so forth. Ahead of you, you see a number of ships standing in the dock. You also see another ship propped up on the dock, with like a gangplank running up to its hull. And Zumbo, you take one look, and you recognize it. It's the bobbing apple.
Oh, what have they done to you? They'll start sort of wandering over to it.
As you wander over to it, you notice that the ship no longer has a mast. There are holes in it. It appears as if it's been almost like the fact that, like looking at it, this thing would sink the moment it came into contact with water. In fact, the only things that seem to be fixed on the ship are the decks, for example. And as you stand there looking at your ship in horror, you can see a number of spotty-nosed blue dragons, like children at best, practicing naval drills on your ship.
It's just probably gripping Balthazar for support, so he doesn't sort of fall over.
You know that in Marsember, the young blue dragons, like new blue dragons, are trained on ships that are no longer suitable for service, and it would appear that your ship has been dredged up from the sea, fixed up just enough that it won't kill any blue dragon that steps foot on it, and it is used for kids. And you watch as these kids are just bumbling around, and it's clear they have no idea what's going on. What do you do?
Well,
What ship we gonna use?
I ain't gonna lie, Balthazar, it's a bit of a blow. I was hoping maybe it was silly on me, after what happened, but I was hoping she might be alright, or at least easy to fix, or maybe they'd fixed her for us after all this time. I never imagined they'd just leave her there, like fine ship like she is.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I mean, Zumbo, as you look at your ship and then the other ships in the dry docks, like these are all kind of state of the top of the line, like skiffs and schooners and whatnot. Like these are fast ships. There's a part of you that thinks, yeah, my ship looks quite round bottomed in comparison. And as you watch, just you in despair, you hear a crack, a snap, and there's a sound of wood boom, boom, boom hitting the stone floor. And you look over to see a dockhand prizing off a plank of wood from the side of the bobbing apple. And you notice, as you see the bit of wood in the distance, that inscribed on that bit of wood, the bobbing apple. They've just pulled your sign off the hull of the ship.
I imagine Betty's spat a ball of water in his hand and he's just like tossing it down. It's kind of like Balthazar probably has to stop him from throwing it at this dockhand.
Don't.
So,
okay, so we're stealing a different ship, Zumbo?
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to go get that sign. And he's going to potter over and try and grab it before anyone notices.
So as you pick up, you head over, the stockhand's just kind of busy just pulling planks, like judging, like looking at what wood is still good on this ship and then pulling those off the frame for reuse and repairs on something else probably. But yeah, you no one interrupts you as you pick up this piece of wood that says the bobbing. Well, it's like the top 2/3 of the words "the bobbing apple," because the rest of it's on the plank below that's still attached to the ship.
I think he'll look at the sign for a bit and then just rest his hand on the flank of the apple and just kind of sort of stroke it lovingly as if he's petting drool or something. There, girl. It's okay.
So, are you taking the opportunity while this is happening, Balthazar, to take a dip and start?
I want Zumbo with me.
Okay. So the two of you, you make your way towards the water's edge, and like some of the dock hands aren't really paying you any attention because you're wearing relatively speaking, a blue dragon uniform, and before long you find yourselves at the harbour's edge, kind of looking into the water. Looks at the very least slightly cleaner here, because there's some distance between this water and the poo water on the other side of the wall.
Okay, so Zumbo, I'm thinking we both go in, and I've got like a spell I can use to see above, and we're just gonna make our way to each of the ships, and we'll skull them. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's just get it over with.
You want to go first?
Not really, but yeah. All right. And he'll kind of tentatively.
I will cast Arcanine then.
Mm-hmm.
Cast at 4th. Yep, cast. There we go. So how long does it take? It's just an action. Okay. Concentration 1 hour. And I cast an invisible magic sensor that I can use to see. And that will basically be my periscope as I'm traveling through the water.
Okay, so there's a massive splash as Balthazar tips into the water. And there's a bloop as Zumbo goes in. Well, sorry, it's probably a very gentle lowering into the water as Zumbo joins him. Zumbo, you're wearing the manta cloak, right?
Yeah, you have to.
I'm not sure I would have.
You have to take it.
Are you regifting it? Well, I mean, either or.
Yeah, sure. Go on then. Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
cool. So, Zumbo, as you jump in and you kind of have that panic, you realize as you kind of slowly take in a breath and you find yourself, like you feel like you're breathing in the water, and then you notice kind of water jets expelling from the cloak itself, almost as if it's acting as your gills, and and it feels safer at the very least. As long as the cloak keeps working. In the interest of time, between the two of you, there are so at the moment there are 8 ships docked in the dry dock. And yeah, with your instruction, are you drilling holes, or are you just gumming up the rudders, or?
Yeah, I think we're gonna gummy up the rudder with some netting and some ropes we took.
I think we should make a little hole just in case the rudder idea doesn't work. Just a little one.
So we're doing both. I'm roping it up, and Zumbo's, or actually probably the other way around. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So between the two of you, you start scuttling these ships. Zumbo, there is a part of you that realizes you probably need to keep at least one.
Yeah, I guess I would have picked out the one that looks fastest or most. Probably not just speed. Probably character is what he's after.
Okay.
Well.
Yeah, there is one ship that you see that looks very sleek and nimble, and that's the one you leave behind. Cool. Okay, so Balthazar, how are you getting out of the water? Because presumably you sink.
Yeah, I can use walk on water.
Fine. Of course you do. Okay,
so
I
can just go. I can literally, I walk up on the bottom, and if I need to get up, I just cast walk on water. I go whoop. I just bounce up.
Okay, so as you scuttle the 7 ships, Zumbo, you climb out onto the docks in a kind of secluded area where no one really sees you. You then watch as Balthazar emerges from through the water surface
like a salmon leaping out of a stream.
Yes. And then the two of you kind of leave a trail of wet splops as you kind of sneak your way out of the docks. Zumbo, you take the opportunity to take one last look at your dear beloved bobbing apple.
Zumbo, I've got a fish stuck. Could you? Oh, maybe it's an eel. Can you get it out?
Zumbo,
algae.
As the two of you exit, sort of sneak out of Starwall Keep, like the 2 purple dragons look at you as you kind of pass back through, because you are sodden.
Splooch, yeah.
And do not go in there.
Yeah, needless to say, it failed its inspection.
And as you kind of begin making your way back to the rendezvous, which presumably is the Drowning Flagon, it's when you're crossing the bridge between the Old Ore Inn and the Barrelstone Inn. As you're walking along, and Zumbo potentially a bit dejected, Balthazar potentially quite excited, you notice there's a figure. A hooded figure stood on the bridge in front of you. The figure seems to have noticed you and is effectively barring your way. By the time once you're within earshot, like by the time you notice you're within earshot, the figure looks up to you. You notice there's a sheathed, a large sheathed sword on their back. The figure's in a kind of brown coat, a green hood that's kind of wrapped round, swaddled, concealing their identity. And then they look up to you and say, "Yes, I thought you'd be here." Yes. The two of you recognize the face as Raedra Oberskiers.
Hold a minute.
Did not expect that. Okay.
Raedra, really? The former queen of Cormyr.
Incognito.
I mean, just like she's doing in Thor, just a little thing over her face, perfect camouflage.
And last but not least, sorry to rush, but real quick, Hiram and Slate, this distraction of yours, what are you imagining it's taking the shape of?
I was thinking, I like the idea of like trying to buy a ship going completely over the top, fancy pantsy, hoity-toity, and the whole idea is that we're going to create a ship that the retiring distinguished gentlemen and gentlewomen of the world can go on. There will be some very fancy abodes for them, and on this ship, it will go away to very nice sights and sounds, and there will be some performers. I've heard that the very famous Katya Donahue is going to be performing on this ship at least twice a night, and it can all be.
Maybe let's not name drop anyone from the team.
Wait, are you doing?
I see what you mean.
Are you doing a booze cruise for all the purple dragons, or
I was also saying I don't remember hiring Slate as my agent, but it's doing a great job.
This is going to be an
Vegas,
on-sea extravaganza, and we want to sell as many tickets as possible. It's going to go across all the aisles.
Are we doing the goddamn fire festival of Cormyr?
Are you inviting all the purple dragons so that they're not at the dock when we steal the ship?
And are you inviting them all to the masked merfolk?
I guess.
Where is
we are only the masked merfolk because my idea was to just look around first, see what's actually going on.
No, I think you should do a fire festival for all the purple dragons.
Oh my god.
I mean, they're going to have an amazing lunch. It's probably going to be like a sandwich and an orange.
We need to pick a random boat that's large that we can use as the decoy.
Well, should we say that we don't have a ship yet? No. I said that before, but we don't want them to pay attention to these ships.
I think we take them to a rundown ship that's on, on its last legs.
A barge.
Yeah, and be like, and we sort of do a little. I'll do a little flyer. It'll show up, and it'll look really grandiose. When they get there, it'll just be like ramshackle nothingness.
Do you want to say that this is for the cream of the crop, but also to show our appreciation of all the work the purple and the blue dragons are doing for the nation in this time of war? They actually can get on for for free. Should we say free? Is that too suspicious?
No, do it for free.
Should we ask them for some money?
No. I love it.
Oh. But this is before the opening night. Like they get to go onto the ship before everyone else arrives. Before all the nobility arrives.
But you do need to keep them distracted and ideally boozed up. So you need to buy a large quantity of booze and some food, and get some music going, so that there's an actual festival that keeps them distracted.
So the proprietor of the Masked Merfolk will be happy to host an impromptu. Noble purple dragon gathering, like Marsember Guard gathering, to sort of like draw them all kind of here rather than on the docks.
Should we say this is going to be at this time, let's say maybe in a week's time, and this is just to show what to expect.
This is
obviously it's going to be more grandiose, but is it? Yeah.
This is the launch night of the concept.
There we go.
Concept launch.
Right. Okay. Here's the thing then. So, the Masked Merfolk will be happy to host it, but you will have to put forward a down payment. The rate, the amount with which your modifier is based on per 100 gold. So,
can we also argue back as well to them? That if things go well tonight, they will be one of our main suppliers, and also, one of the promoted.
I like that. We can argue that if that we were thinking of getting them to be our main supplier, and we also this is basically a sample.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are happy to pay, but we would like to pay for a sample menu.
Yes,
perfect. They would hope so. Okay, cool. How many hundreds are you paying?
Well, How much money do we have?
I've got
Actually,
a ton. I've got I've got 1,500 gold at the moment.
Yeah, at which point I'm thinking, would it be easy to just go down buy a ship? I have what, 225 platinum pieces. Can we buy a ship with that?
I mean, there's one for sale, but it might be a lot harder to.
Like out of character, I'm asking this Dan. Dan, can we just buy a ship?
I mean, you can. You won't buy it quickly though, like because there'll be all the.
6 months, the
What about a
paperwork, the
rundown-
notaries,
Insurance.
transfer fees, all that.
One that looks grandiose but actually is not saleable.
You know what would be great? If you could just find like a random a noble kid and just beat them in cards or something and win their ship.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
That's another
Okay.
idea. Right, so yeah, going on this
I
plan
am
of
willing to put down 500 gold.
500. Okay. So in which case, Hiram, if you deduct 500 gold from your thing, Slate, this is all bullshit, isn't it? This is all a big lie,
Total
right?
bullshit.
Right. Okay. In which case, let's very easily say that it's a deception check. It's got +5 to the roll because Hiram has greased them up with 500 gold.
Wait, we both putting in
Plus
500.
3 from me.
Oh, you're both putting in 500.
Yeah, I mean, I'll match whatever Hiran's putting in because this is like.
Right.
Plus 10.
So +10.
Yeah, plus the 3 from
That's only
my
in
aura.
saving throws.
Oh god damn it. That's true.
So plus 10. Okay. So Slate, give me a deception check +10.
+10. Okay.
Yeah, as the two of you put down 1,000 gold to sell this lie.
Oh!
Oh my god!
That's with the 10.
Sorry, what?
That's with the 10, just remember.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. Right. Okay, so 30. Okay,
30, Jesus.
the owner of the Marsember folk is willing to drop everything. Because if you're going to come in and just drop 1,000 Gs, you clearly mean business.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Dollar
And this is
bills.
just a deposit we're
Can I
saying.
just,
Just a
remind
deposit.
everyone that the real life equivalent of this is like $100,000
Yeah.
or £100,000
Yeah.
Yes.
using the fictive
Yeah,
transfer.
they will get in all of the rare wines. Cool. Okay, so yeah, the proprietor of the Marsember folk is more than happy with your your generous deposit. And we'll begin drumming up interest for tonight's surprise launch immediately. Yeah, in fact, he kicks all the patrons out, effectively closes up shop so he can send the staff out to gather people out. So, congratulations, you've just significantly reduced the number of purple dragons and Marsember guards that will be patrolling tonight.
Can we call it Marsember Fest?
Marsember Fest, yes.
I was thinking Ember Festival, right?
Yep.
Okay, so as the the two of you begin making your way back, as you all kind of make your way back to the Drowning Flagon, let's grab a 5-minute break, and then we will see how well this prep helps you in the action phase to come.
Cool, we'll do.
Cool. Right, see you in
Right.
5.
See you
See you in a
in
bit. Hey, it's Balthazar. Katya and Badger forced me to do this. They say I should ask you to subscribe and support the Warhounds. Thanks, I guess.
Welcome back, everybody.
Thank you.
To Ember Festival.
To Ember Festival. Right. Yes. Tell you what. Let's jump straight back in. Because Hiram and Slate, you were the last ones to arrive back at the Drowning Flagon. And as you kind of enter into the loud, bustling tavern, you see the rest of the Warhounds all kind of sat around a table awkwardly.
We have a group chat, so they probably know ahead of time.
Okay, that's a good point. In which case, the two of you arrive to see that, yes, absolutely, the Warhounds appear to have been joined by one Raedra Oberskier,
Yay!
who is sat at the table with the rest of the Warhounds next to Renna, very specifically next to Renna, with this.
Wait, if she's here, where is Magnus?
It's a somewhat unreadable look on her face, and as you two enter, she. There you are. I was wondering if we'd be graced by your presence.
I know it's quite a big deal, but it is actually quite an exclusive guest list. So,
That's
sorry, we just can't. We haven't got any. I would love to find space for you on this list. However, we have already made so many changes. I am so sorry. It's just too last minute. The amount of work it would take. It's not my work. It's the work of other people. We really care about the people that we're investing our time in. And I would love you to be there. I'm so sorry. But it's not going to happen.
Well, then it's fortunate that Balthazar here invited me. What was it you said, Balthazar? Suzail or Marsember? Your
yeah.
message to Magnus.
Well, yeah, I was more thinking about Suzail.
Well, Magnus finds it easier to blend into the streets of Suzail than I currently do, so it's been a while since I had experienced the delights of Marsember, and it's such a delight to see that you're all here. After all, we are erstwhile allies that share everything, don't we?
Your former Majesty, are you confirming that Magnus is around and okay?
Why would he not be?
Awesome. That's great. Could you do me a favor when you see him, please?
Yes.
Slap him across the cheek as hard as you like. I mean, if you want to use the back of your hand, I'm more than okay with that. Just really get it. Just at that point, which really just, it hurts as you hit. That would be fantastic.
I'll see what I can do. So where are the Warhounds heading? This is a very peculiar place, and it seems like you've been so busy.
We're sightseeing, yeah.
We're trying to figure out if you can sail from the sea all the way to Waters Deep. I hear Waters Deep is fantastic this time of year. I heard it's not possible. There's like a land bridge, but Zumbo says he found a way.
Okay, before we continue, we can tell you how much do you want to be an accomplice to a scam?
Scam?
Yes, I know. I hate to say it, and I'm not proud of it, but there are some dodgy things going on. They're all for a better purpose, but I'm just saying that it might be better if you don't know the details.
Ember Festival's not real.
In the chat, are we still in chat?
Mm-hmm.
How long is it?
1
last?
hour.
Yeah, that's gone by now.
Okay.
Cool.
She looks to you, and I'll make sure to be on the lookout for any scams, but honestly, it looks like you're about to head somewhere. I mean, and it seems that perhaps you could do with the extra muscle. Isn't that right, Renna? And Renna just kind of shiftily, maybe, and looks to you because she realizes she's being used.
Now, do you know what it is, you Grace? It's actually, he kind of lowers his voice. Actually, doing our bit for your cause, as it happens. Engaging in a spot of piracy. Of course, wouldn't dream of doing it under your reign, but now that with the usurper on the throne, thought this might help out a little bit to cause some mayhem. Not really your scene, though. Obviously, when you reclaim your rightful throne, you don't want to be marred by allegations of piracy and stuff. That kind of stuff follows you around for years. Best if you stay here and we get on with it.
Yeah, also, Zumbo, aren't we going all the way down to the Pirate Isles? You know, I mean, if she gets captured at the Pirate Isles, that's going to cause all kinds of diplomatic incidents, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, Katya.
A former monarch captured by pirates at the Pirate Isles? Whew!
Can't imagine the
I
Crown's
appreciate
going to ransom you at this point.
I appreciate your concern.
Can I ask? You seem very angry with us, and I'm not quite sure why.
Well, I was under the impression that we were friends. That was the impression I got when we last saw you in Fort Lymera. But you seem to be being very secretive with me all of a sudden.
We have always been secretive with you. This is not news.
Yeah, we
Just
got you
because
thrown off the throne. How are we friends?
Your vibes
No.
is all over the place. They are so not what we're about right now. We're ready to make the event of a season, and you are just bringing it down with your bad vibes. Not what we're about. Why would we want you to come and make the vibes bad?
I mean, I was thinking the other way around. If you want to come with us, it's fine. I mean, we are allies. We did agree to it, didn't we?
Yes.
I'm actually looking at Badger at this point.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to come, feel free. But you know, we don't know what you want from us unless you say so. And it's not like you kept in touch with us either. The only reason why I even know about this is because we reached out to Magnus.
It would seem that you're right. We have gotten off on the wrong foot. I would greatly appreciate joining the Warhounds on the next step of their adventure.
Get yourself a hat. Look like a pirate. Off we go.
Yeah, it's quite a strict dress code, to be honest.
Wait, what
She- so-
what position you gonna have on the ship?
I mean, I'm going to have to say, Raedra, I mean, the hood's really not doing all that much for you. You're still very recognizable, so if you wouldn't mind, do you mind if I sort of bring you to our level aesthetically? As she reaches in and pulls out her disguise kit.
Are you going to disguise
Look at the way we
Raedra?
look.
Yeah. Well, we don't want the former monarch of Cormyr following us around, but if we have Ethel, ship mascot, following us around, it's going to be more believable.
I think with the name of Ethel, that would be the ship cook. But
And we can give
That's
it a big
Right.
bulbous nose, you know, warts.
Raedra takes a look at you and then begrudgingly allows you to disguise her. Like apply makeup to her to disguise her somewhat.
Katya opens up the extra section, which is extra ugly.
Zumbo, you're looking at the sun and you realize that you don't have very long until this has to go down.
Yeah, time to make sure we're all ready, folks.
So how are we getting in? Main gate, water.
You mentioned papers, Zumbo.
Yeah, the Purple Dragon's asked to see my papers at the gate into the dry dock.
Do you know what those papers are?
No, not really. I mean, last time I was here, it was mostly the Marsember Watch I dealt with, and they'd never asked to see anything other than money.
Can we steal some from Ember Festival?
Sorry, we're going to go to our own distraction festival in order to steal the papers to carry on with the heist. Okay.
Yeah.
How
Awesome.
much time do we have?
Not long enough to make forgery papers.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Reasonably not long enough to get up to the Mars Merfolk, steal papers, and then
No. We could fight our way through.
Why do we have a timeline though? We're busy.
There's a changing of the guards, the harbor, patrols, harbor gates closing, and
We could just walk in via the sea as well.
Katya can make them think we've got papers.
Yeah, or is there a reasonable chance that there'd be a blue dragon in the Drowned Sailors Club that we could pilfer some off?
I mean, we probably don't want to go back to the Drowned Sailor, especially
We
if
really-
Pincher, yeah.
We don't want to go anywhere near there.
No.
Oh yeah, that's where he was. Yeah, no, definitely not. I told you about the turkey leg, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
He did, and it was kind of worrying that he went for the poultry when the fight started, so I can only imagine how that went down.
I say we get Katya to do her mind tricks on them, and if all else fails, we start punching.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
So a classic stealth mission then is what you're saying, Badger?
That's exactly it. We stealth until it is not working anymore.
Yeah.
Raedra gives you a nod of approval. This sounds like her sort of plan. Well, shall we get started then? She says.
Before we do, and Hiram is going to reach into his bag and turn to Emily. Like, I'm gonna give these to you. This is a special occasion. I need you to be somewhat mindful of these, and I'm gonna give her the 10 walloping bolts that I have been holding on to.
Mm-hmm.
Where did those come from?
They are from the first season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Season 1?
You've just been
Yeah.
walking around with a clacking bag of balls all this time.
Yeah, so they are 10 walloping crossbow bolts, which is this ammunition packs a wallop. A creature hit by the ammunition must succeed on a DC 10 strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be
Wow.
deadly.
Wow.
So, as you equip Emily with the walloping crossbow bolts,
Who I imagine has a shit-eating grin.
oh yes, yeah, you hear her whisper, "Oh goody," to herself. You pack up your things, you make ready, and you step out of the Drowning Flagon onto the streets of Marsember. You can see that there's the night the night desertons of Marsember are beginning to kind of crawl out onto the streets, the nightly festivities and frolickings are beginning. The lot of you begin making your way up towards kind of Starwater Keep. As you cross the bridge, you notice that there are a number of kind of Marsember watch standing around, but you overhear one of them saying, "Oh, there's some sort of booze up at the Marsember folk," and it's clear that they're guarding, and they just kind of look at each other and, "Yeah, sounds much more fun," and they just kind of disappear off into the distance. As you kind of come off the bridge onto the mainland, you notice there is a patrol of purple dragons that don't appear to have gotten the memo. They kind of see you approaching, and you notice the two of them kind of giving you the eye. Who's stepping forward to diffuse this situation?
Yeah.
Katya, I guess.
Katya or Zumbo.
Okay. And as these purple dragons kind of eye you up and kind of look at you, because you've all kind of got hoods up and you're kind of trying to be discreet, especially Raedra.
Don't you mean Ethel, the ship's cook?
Ethel, the ship's cook. Katya, what do you do?
I imagine if they first do you have papers? She sort of holds her hand out. You don't need to see our papers.
These are not the papers you're looking for.
We're not the crew you're looking for. We can go about our business. Move along.
So, Katya, that sounds like a defy danger. So, if I could have, are you using a spell or ability?
I would imagine she's using suggestion. I imagine.
Suggestion, okay. In which case, if you roll me a, Katya rolls a persuasion with advantage because you're using a resource.
22.
Okay. The purple dragons kind of, one of them goes to make a noise as your eyes go white, and they kind of look to you a bit slack-jawed and, "These are not the papers we're looking for," and then they turn and walk off down the street.
You want to go to Ember Festival?
Yeah, on the way past here. Ember Festival?
We want to go to Ember Festival. I want to rethink my life. You okay? So as the purple dragons navigate, you see Ranger just kind of cock her head.
Oh yeah, she's
and
never
Renna
seen these
just-
abilities.
And Renna claps. Ooh, yay! You get to the gates, and Zumbo, you see up ahead the same two guards from earlier. They don't appear to have noticed you approach, however.
They haven't noticed approach.
No. What do you do?
Is there anyone else about?
Currently, it's just these two. You can see that there are still a few kind of dockhands milling about in the docks, but significantly less than you'd expect. Probably because they're all up in the Marsember folk, drinking rare wine.
You reckon?
So what do you do?
Reckon we can take him?
Yeah,
Are you asking everyone?
Or,
Okay.
I mean, why are we not stealthing?
are there
Don't we
any...
want to try stealth first?
Well, will we reasonably be able to stealth past them, or?
Elsewhere, through the gate they're standing beside?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It might be a bit tricky.
Are there any possible potential... Okay, in front of us, are any of the ships, have they got mastheads, whatever they're called, figureheads? Have any of them got, like, particularly, impressive figureheads that are humanoid?
They would do. You wouldn't have seen them, though.
Okay.
Uh,
So they're not
But-
visible from, like, where we are or anything?
I mean, Zumbo or Balthazar would have seen them. So one of the two of them could spout lore to try and paint you a picture with their words.
What do you,
Yeah,
what-
happy
what do you
to.
what do you want to do with it?
Distract them by being a masthead that is like, because sometimes that's luck. That's bad luck, you know what I mean? Those things are
you're-
special.
You're the masthead model, you mean?
Yeah, like, and be like, I'm real, I'm this way, I'm the magical thing that's...
Okay. Who's going to do their best to describe to Slate what one of these mastheads on one of the ships look
Right.
like?
Can Slate do that and then we just hit them? Basically.
It might come to it. It might come to it. I'm going to ask for a history check off the back of this. So who wants to give it a go between you two, Balthazar and Zumbo?
I mean,
Imagine
just
you're going to be.
is it any figurehead? So it doesn't really matter whichever one.
One
there
of the
is.
figureheads.
One
on
of the
ships
most
that you-
impressive ones. From the nice, the fanciest ship. One of the ones that's going to have a story behind it,
Yeah, sure. Balthazar will tell you about it.
Okay. So as you decide to spout lore, we'll kind of ignore the outcomes. But Balthazar, give me a history check.
Okay. I'll guidance myself as well. That's okay. Normal. 21.
Okay. Right. So, Balthazar literally paints this picture with his words, and it's like you're able to just kind of imagine this figurehead. As you transform, how are you doing this? Are you approaching on your own or like with everyone else? What's the story?
Definitely on my own. I'm just going to double check. What I made. What did I make? Yep. Okay, at the same time, I'd like to create a fog cloud.
Okay.
Level 1, because it's not really supposed to be that fancy. It's just a bit of a glamour spell, really, here.
Okay.
Just to make it more ethereal. And I'll wander up.
Okay, yeah. So these two purple dragons look to you and what on? They see this beautifully statuesque woman, like this mermaid-looking woman, like gliding towards the gates of the keep, and they look at you as if they recognise you from somewhere. But can we help? And then fog begins to emit from you. And before long, there's as there's coughs and splutters as a 20-foot radius sphere of fog kind of puffs out of you. Which will, sure, it will be enough of a distraction to let everyone sneak through.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'll do that then.
very good.
So when you get into the compound proper, you notice that there are that there aren't very many patrols, but there are a number of dock hands who are still kind of loading up some of the ships. Zumbo, you all notice that there are a number of kind of dock hands who are looking at one of the ships, like one of the rudders on one of the ships. Kind of they've lifted the ship out of the water, and they're looking at it like, where's all this net come from? But yeah, Zumbo, as you kind of peer around a corner, you see that it's a relatively straight line from you to the dock, the dock proper, the one ship that you didn't scuttle, the one that's kind of next to the bobbing apple. There's either a clear line past many dock hands, about 4 dock hands, or you can try to get everyone to sneak round. But as you see these dock hands ahead of you, what are you all doing?
Can I just beeline for the water and go, right, see you there? I guess.
How many dock hands did you say?
There's 4 dock hands.
We can take
4.
them.
Hiram is going to kneel down in front of Emily, put a hand on her shoulder and say, "It's time."
Okay, so Emily is going to choose violence, and Emily needs to make an attack roll.
Okay. And she's going to be using the developing crossbow bolts.
Of course.
Just so you're aware. Is there anything I can do to give her advantage? I don't think so.
You can hide.
Hmm?
You can hide and then shoot.
It'll just be a straight roll for this.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, here's hoping.
Okay.
Oh, that's an 11.
Ooh.
Okay. So she aims at so that she okay. So there's 4 guards, so that'll be 4 of the 10 bolts, presumably.
Yep.
But she, in quick succession, she loads the first bolt, and you hear as one guard just takes this walloping crossbow bolt to the back of the head and dunk, knocks himself out on the box that he was holding. And then in quick succession, she boom, 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 does another 3 shots, taking out the other 3. However, the fourth, the final one turns round and she only passed. So Tilda, I need you to make one choice from the list. Emily made too much noise. Emily takes damage, an ally takes damage, or something of value breaks.
An ally takes damage.
And who is that?
That's going to be Hiram.
Okay.
Do you describe it or do I describe it?
Well, so if you choose the ally, so in which case, as Emily fires, she fires a 3rd bolt, taking out the 3rd dock hand, the 4th turns around and sees her and sort of grabs grabs a tool, like a mallet, and kind of runs at her. As he goes to swing, Hiram, you manage to throw yourself in the way and kind of take the blow. So Hiram, as you take damage, I'd like you to roll a con check, please.
Okay.
Ooh.
Would you look at that? I'm actually good at that. Very unusual for me. Plus, do I get the +3 from the aura or not?
No. Okay, so that is a pass. So I need you to choose one from the list. You take full damage from the attack. You are forced to use a resource. You lose your footing. You lose your grip. You lose track of something, or someone gets the drop on you. Yeah.
By the way, the +3 would not make a difference, right?
No.
Cool.
I think it's actually already included.
Oh, it is. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it's a 12. So yeah, choose one.
I'm gonna go with you lose your footing.
Okay. In which case, as you you get in the way, and as you swing, you sort of have to slide tackle this dock hands to the ground. As the 2 of you kind of collapse in on one another, Emily just kind of peers over the box she was hiding behind, and then at point blank range, boom, puts a walloping crossbow bolt in the back of this dock hand's head, and you just feel him go dead weight on top of you as you slowly kind of push him off. the last of the guards is defeated. As this is all happening, who's got the highest perception? Balthazar.
Yeah.
You hear, you see this. Everyone sees this kind of kerfuffle, but Balthazar, you hear off in the distance, to the northwest. You hear the sounds and cries of some sort of scuffle, and you overhear someone shouting, "Intruders! Intruders in the cape!" But as you look around, they're not shouting it near you. It's all specifically up here by the other gate. So yes, Balthazar, as you hear this commotion off in the corner, you see some purple dragons rushing, beginning to rush from Starwater Keep to your right. So Hiram's done a thing, Slate's done a thing. Badger, you're the one that notices these purple dragons coming in your direction. You realise they're going to trample right over you. What do you do?
They're going to trample right over me. They're literally running at me, are they?
Well, they're going to run right past you and see you all as you kind of creep through the dockyards.
I don't know.
Can we hide in the water, Dan?
You're not at the water yet.
Yeah.
You're about halfway.
Is there anything we can hide behind?
So there are a number of boxes that you can. So Badger, it'll be you specifically that they'll see. So there's boxes to hide behind.
Badger's got minor illusion, so can she illusion a box around herself?
Yes. Classic.
It is classic.
Amazing.
So, in which case, can I have a defy danger?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that is a stealth check because you're hiding.
Yeah.
In a box.
I'm using my
with minor illusion, so roll with advantage.
It's a 15.
Whoa. Okay, so those of you that have seen kind of Badger who's scouting ahead, you see these guards kind of run past. One of them stops and looks. Oh, I thought I heard something, and then carries on, rushes off to join the other purple dragons as they run off to the west. As the rest of you kind of poke up from your respective hidey holes, you can hear the sound of distinct fighting, and one voice shouts, "He's getting away!" As you hear that sound, you get to the docks itself. So you're basically at the back of the ships, the respective ships that are on the dry docks. And Zumbo, there is the one ship that you haven't scuttled. As you kind of turn around the corner to head towards that ship, you see a figure in the dark ahead of you. The figure is hunched, slightly hunched, shoulders kind of high, appears to be breathing deeply. And as you all look up, so the figure kind of tilts its head up to look at you slightly, and all you can see from under the hood are two piercing red eyes. And as the clouds part and the moonlight shines over the figure...
Oh no.
Zombie?
Oh no.
Katya,
What is that?
you see
Well, Katya, have fun.
a horrifyingly remarkable and recognizable face.
It's
As
Quentin.
in front of you is Quentin Torvoth, and as he looks up to you, he snarls, and the moonlight glints over bestial teeth that look horribly out of place, and you see his hands kind of involuntarily flexing and twitching, now sporting what look to be monstrous claws, and there's just something inherently more bestial about him. And then he looks up to you, and you hear him growl, "Donahue." And as he kind of drops into a low stance and sprints at you full speed, his arms beginning to warp, what do you do?
I think it's time to hit up a 4th level Dissonant Whispers.
Oop.
Nice.
Okay. And okay, so that is another. That's another Defy Danger.
It is.
We're going to go with. Let's go with an Intimidation, because you're trying to effectively scare him away. You'll get plus. Let's say you'll get +4 to this because you are using a 4th level spell.
+4. I imagine what she's trying to do is use the explosion that comes with it to just team rocket him. 15.
Ooh. Okay. This ragged thing like leaps at you, jumps on you, knocking you to the ground as he kind of slides you in amongst the Warhounds. And like as his hands morph and you see black fur starting to emerge from the back of his hands and go up his arms, you hear him say, like he almost whispers in your ear, "Ursula sends her regards." And at that moment, as your eyes flash and there's that psychic boom, he's flung back. He's knocked back and he smacks against one of the ships, and then you hear a splash in the water as he sinks, as he falls into the sea.
Nice.
Nice.
Very good.
At the sound of that commotion, you turn and realize that there is basically nothing between you and the ship. And as you go to turn, as you go to move onto the ship, Zumbo, you all hear, "Stop right there!" And as you all turn around, Zumbo, you in the middle of the group, you see.
Who is it gonna be? I knew it.
You see 4 figures. And the voice that just shouted was this well-muscled half-orc woman in like shore leave uniform, and she takes one look at you, and like as you stop, she shouts, "Get away from our ship!" And Zumbo, as you peer up, you notice the one ship you did not scuttle was the Fortune's Claw.
Oh.
Wow. How the worm turneth.
And as Reeve, Subtle, Morton, and Knowles face you down, Zumbo, what do you do?
Don't move or you'll go boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the day you'll remember almost catching Zumbo Marsember.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think I can say it better than Badger, yeah. But meanwhile, he's like, on the ship.
Okay,
I noticed you left off Booth particularly, trying to save your vocal cords.
So, Zumbo, as you, this is going to be a, you know what? Just roll me a
Performance.
Roll me a performance check.
Okay, performance. Alright.
Yeah.
Straight roll.
Yep.
Okay.
The 12.
Okay.
Ooh.
As you say that, you like as the rest of the Warhounds kind of creep backwards away from you to head towards the ship, and you give the this is the day you almost caught. You notice that the 4 of them look somewhat battered, and knocked up a little bit. It looks like they've been through a ringer, and you watch as like Reeve's arm is shaking slightly as his half-orc's arm just as she slumps, her shoulders slump. She looks to you and, I just don't care anymore. She says, And like she lowers her sword arm and just like she sits down on a barrel nearby and just looks at you, somewhat defeated. As do the other two women. Like they kind of you see the medic. You remember her being the medic. She just kind of doubles over, hands on knees, going, "Oh, it's just, I'm so tired." And Knowles, you hear Knowles, the half-elf, shouting, "I was supposed to be on a date!" And as you kind of take this as the opportunity to step away, you hear, "Not so fast!" And there's a hiss, a fizz, and you see the mouth of this cannon pointed towards you as Subtle fires one cannonball at you.
No. Oh no.
Make boom.
Me specifically.
Yeah, stop there, criminal! He shouts.
Okay.
As he, as you see this kind of cannon fight aimed towards you, Zumbo, how are you avoiding this?
I think he'd just instinctually just like throw Betty at the cannonball, and as she soars towards it, she's going to grow massively into a giant octopus to try and absorb the impact.
Explode.
Okay. In which case, you know what? Yeah, as you throw Betty, as this dwarf fires, there's a massive boom. The dock lights up for a moment as the explosion rips out the end of this cannon, this boom tube. And as Betty grows, this cannonball flies towards you, and Betty's mouth opens up, and the cannonball just straight into her circular beaked mouth. You then watch as this cannonball hits the back of the inside of Betty's head, and she is pulled. She's fired towards you, catching you, and knocking you towards the ship. You hear, like, through the smoke, as you kind of, like, Betty's not really moving, she's just stuck to you. And this cannonball, boom, kind of rolls out of her mouth. And you, through the smoke, you hear, I got him! But it gives you just enough time to make your way up onto the deck of the Fortune's Claw.
Great.
And as you very quickly begin to raise anchor and kind of open the sails, you hear the sounds of an angry dwarf shouting to stop you, and you see him kind of running down the dock towards the gangplank that you've hastily had someone pull up. And there's a splash as Subtle Brannigan jumps into the Dragonmere Sea to try and chase the ship. And as you sail away into the night, you see the other three blue dragons just rubbing their heads in dismay.
What have they been through?
Zumbo will just stand on the prow and give them a looking down.
And it's because the ship is a relatively shallow one. You are absolutely able to lean over the side and attach where it says the Fortune's Claw. Attach the top 2/3 of the bobbing apple.
Oh,
excellent!
And with that, yes, the 9 of you sail off into the Dragonmere.
amazing.
Awesome.
Well done, team.
Yay.
We did it.
And
Got a boat. Got a boat.
Got a boat.
with that, we shall call it there.
10 out of 10. Amazing stealth mission, guys. Again.
We did it.
There was only one cannonball fired.
Yeah.
100% success rate, I think.
Yes. Congratulations on successfully sealing a boat. And yeah, I guess we'll see what's up next. So with that, thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all later.
Bye.
See you next time.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And with that, the Warhounds are off, sailing the Dragonmere in a very freshly rebranded bobbing apple. What adventures await them in the seas of Cormyr? The Warhounds are suspicious, but can Raedra be trusted? And has Zumbo gotten over his fear of water? Find out in the next episode. Speaking of next episodes, the Cormyr campaign will be having a short break. Next week, we will be returning to the seedy world of Neo-London as we join our Shadowrunners for their second mission. You can catch their first mission up here. The 2 weeks after that, we will be back in Marsember on this fateful day, but from a slightly different perspective. Cormyr Echoes of War episode 25 will be available the week after that. If you enjoyed, please like the video and leave a comment down below, it really helps us out. And for more adventures, you can click right here and click here to subscribe to the channel. Take care, and as always, may the realms endure.